Welcome, Gemini, for your April monthly horoscope. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so. Please like and comment. I do interact with all comments. This month begins with a glorious event just about to take shape, and that is that Venus, the planet of love and affection, but also money, moves into your sign on the 4th. But the amazing thing about this news, Gemini, is that she's going to be with you for 4 whole months through to the 7th of August. Now, Venus usually goes through each zodiac sign through 28 days. And this extended transit is because it is going to go into retrograde next month on the 13th. But let's just park that for a minute, because this provides you with some glorious opportunities to attract real goodness to you. Now, if you're interested in fashion, you're a dedicated follower, this is a great opportunity for you to revitalize your wardrobe and to feel better about yourself. If you're single, don't be surprised if more than one person shows an interest in you between now and early August. If you're already in a relationship and pretty happy, this could be a time when you just find that other people do show an interest in you, which of course can be flattering. But if you're a creative Gemini and you love the arts, expect to hit top form from here on in. You really can be very imaginative, really raise your output and productivity in a very special way. Now, as this month begins, both Saturn and Mars are in a conjunction, but in the part of your horoscope to do with widening your horizons. So for the first 5 days, it wouldn't surprise me if you were traveling, connecting with someone overseas, thinking about property, potentially overseas, or talking to someone about some kind of binding agreement. Now, Jupiter, the planet of growth, and Pluto, the planet of change, are broadly in an alliance for the whole of this month. This gives you a great opportunity to improve your long-term finances, which have probably taken a little bit of a pounding with Saturn's transit through the sign of Capricorn and its connection definitely with Pluto in the early part of this year on the 12th of January when they became exactly conjunct. And of course the nodal axis has also been emphasized in your resources over the last about 16-17 months now. But it's an opportunity with these two, the serious Saturn and the drive of Mars, to try to find ways to open your situation up, but to use the change agenda of Jupiter and Pluto to improve your lot. And that may mean by thinking about approaching situations in different ways. Some Geminis may even be having some kind of training or applying for higher education, and that can be creating a sense of excitement. Now, it is true to say that the conjunction between Jupiter and Pluto is going to link into the full moon of the 8th, which occurs in your sister air sign of Libra. Now, when the Libra full moon occurs, we're talking about the need for balance and the need to have a degree of equilibrium in our relationships. So for you, it's balancing your social activities, which the Sun is giving you encouragement around, and thinking about your long-term future. And the full moon in Libra is asking you to demonstrate your flair, your talents, your individuality. But there is a square between this full moon and Jupiter and Pluto. So I think because they're in your 8th house, a very intense change, and the full moon is in the 5th house of pleasures, it's possible in the following couple of weeks that there could be some growing pains if you are evolving what you're doing in your situation, and someone close to you may not like how things are changing, particularly if you are demonstrating a bit more need for independence and freedom. But sometimes we have to go through these things to get to the golden prize. So it doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't aspire just because of the people-pleasing energy of Libra sees you stop pleasing yourself. So just finding the balance, certainly in your time management, between what you want to do as an individual and how you're going to come together with others is going to be the trick. But there are some very passionate energies that are urging you on in Jupiter and Pluto, and to be much more serious about business, finance, and just making sure that the more worldly elements of your life do work too. Now on the 11th, Mercury moves into a glorious location, linking with the comet Chiron, but also joining with the Sun in the sign of Aries. So Mercury in this sector is very much about connecting with others. And before, it was very much to do with your work, your professional goals and ambitions. And of course, because Neptune is still in the sign of Pisces, perhaps there has been a degree of uncertainty around your work in the early part of this year. I think Mercury moving into this area can see you network for fun and work the good side of the full moon in Libra in terms of your contacts with people to your benefit. Now, week 3 of this month is not just going to see the Sun move into Taurus, it's also going to see Mercury forge an awesome angle to Mars. When Mercury and Mars cooperate well, we can speak with conviction, clarity, and also urgency, which comes from Mars. So there could be a friendship that you're excited by. It could be a travel destination that you're going away to with a group of people, because Mercury's in your sector of groups along with the Sun until the 20th. So this kind of direction of travel is possible. But then the Sun moves into Taurus, where it's much more sheltered for you, and it immediately links with Uranus, and it's going to be alongside Uranus in the last part of this month. And this could, if you feel hemmed in your life, make you feel actually quite restless, and not necessarily in a very comfortable way. I don't mean to create any sense of foreboding. It's just more, if there is a part of your situation which you can't quite highlight that's making you feel on edge or a bit dissatisfied, I do think it is the role of Uranus, because it's really pushing you to engage with your psyche. And Gemini people like to engage with your mind. Now remember, my draconic sun is in Gemini, and I have my natal sun and Mercury in the 3rd house, very Gemini. So it can be argued that Gemini energy, or the 3rd house energy, is very airy, very quick-witted, love the laughs, love quick exchanges, but sometimes find emotions a little bit more of a tender issue. So I think on the back of the new moon, which occurs in Taurus on the 23rd, it's an opportunity to embrace that hidden, more shadow side of your nature. And because it is going to be embracing Uranus, there could be some kind of revelation that comes to pass in the last days of this month, which could surprise you, but actually it could be really cathartic. Because once you know this piece of information, or you have a realization about something that you hadn't quite understood about your own motivations or ways of doing things, it can actually provide a lot of solace to you, a lot of ability to see into yourself and understand your nature and the nature of those closest to you much more keenly. Now Pluto does go into a retrograde on the 25th, and it's going to be there until the 3rd of October. So those longer term hopes around resources and business may slow down a little bit and may require a degree of patience. But on the 28th, Mercury, your ruler, then moves into Taurus too. So as this month draws to a close, you have the Sun, Mercury and Uranus all in this sheltered area. But you still have that glorious Venus transit. You still have Mars in your 9th house of exploration and adventure. So I feel it's possible that someone could let you know towards the end of this month in a coded way how interested they are in you, but just who could prove to be a surprise. Watch people's body language. Someone's not necessarily going to tell you. Then again, someone else could just blurt out how they feel with Uranus alongside the Sun, the new moon and Mercury. And then you might think, whoa, I didn't realise that. but actually be really quite excited by this revelation. But as I say, it could also be you getting a much deeper understanding of what makes you tick, but honouring your power of attraction. And if you're trying to manifest some good things in your love life, trust is definitely important for you with this collection of energy in Taurus as the month draws to a close and Pluto slams on the brakes. But equally, I think Venus is going to give you more than one choice. If it doesn't happen this month, it's certain to happen by the 7th of August, because you're going to go through quite an evolution in terms of understanding what you want in terms of your relationships, but also in terms of what you want to do with your creative talents and skills and artistry. Thank you so much for joining me for your monthly horoscope forecast. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my monthly magazine and my regular mail-outs, which are high quality astro journalism. You can also get your free daily horoscope within this emailed to you each day. Then again, if you'd like to have a one-to-one with me or order your personal 12-month forecast and character analysis and get 30% off them, please see the links beneath this video. But for now, good luck and goodbye.